Well, I've used EPS construction for the last few years on a couple of projects, both in terms of wall construction and roof construction. My understanding of it is, my experience of it is that it's a simpler means of building. It's quite rational. It overcomes issues with building regulations for consequent collapse because the whole building, floors and walls, are knitted together. It's got very dynamic thermal properties. And it's a rapid means of construction that liberates the exterior from the building, enables us to start completing works on the internal aspects while we're putting the building finish onto the main facades. For this particular project, we chose an EPS system because we have very interesting soil conditions here because we're not very far from the Thames. We couldn't have a conventional strip foundation, we had to go for sheet piling, so we were building a basement up. And from that perspective, an EPS system using poured concrete in a rebar reinforced frame is the only solution, and it makes sense to use EPS because it's already thermally insulated as we go. We continue the wall structures from the basement level right to the top of the building in one easy process, laying each floor as we go. And as I said previously, all the floors are then knitted to the wall, so it makes a very solid and dense construction in a fairly quick process. I think the advantages of EPS building systems over more conventional methods, be they brick and block work construction with a cavity wall and against timber frame, is that EPS system is quick, it's simple, it's one use of or two uses of material using reinforced concrete, so you get great advantages in speed of construction. The longevity of the building, I'm still not convinced as an architect of the longevity of timber frame buildings, and I think that's reflected in building guarantees, in all sorts of complications with insurances. EPS systems are becoming more and more recognised by house builder guarantee providers and by insurance companies. And as I said before, I think the ability to complete the exterior finish of a building independently of the internal fit out gives you huge advantages on programme. Another contractor on a previous project brought Thermohouse to my consideration, where we used it for a lightweight roof. And then consequently, in further conversations with the company, I understood that they did a full integrated package of walls, floors and roofs. And for this project, it seemed a logical conclusion to use that product for this building. I think the major advantage for me in Thermohouse system, as opposed to other products I've used before, is the blocks are a more moderate size, which makes them easier to manhandle on site and less susceptible to damage. They can be palleted and crated onto site. I think the other main consideration is that connecting inserts internally are made of steel, which is much stronger. There's been problems in the past with numerous EPS systems, and I've experienced this, where they've burst from the weight of concrete being poured. And once they burst, it's a terrible job trying to recontain the skin and strap it up, and that tends to kind of halt the construction process, the pouring process. Concrete can go off, so you have to have a new delivery. With this building in particular, we haven't had any instances of that. So I was concerned to use Thermohouse particularly because of this main insert condition and the fact that they're one of the few EPS providers who have an integrated flooring system. So we don't have to go to another supplier, another product, and we don't have a clash of systems or timescales involved in project managing the process. My experience with the Thermohouse team has been really exceptional because I've encouraged them to do an installation as well as not just provide the materials and the expertise, and they're able to provide support to the structural engineer to take over that aspect on a design and build basis in-house, integrated. So really from the digging of the basement, the formation of the basement to the formation of the whole structure, it's been one integrated process, and that's been helpful both in timescales, in terms of efficiency of management, and it's a much better experience than I've had using other EPS systems as a consequence, where you're really dealing with a supplier novated contractor. So it's a system that I would certainly go on to the next building and use again. I would certainly recommend Thermohouse and the ICF products that they offer to other architects, to other builders and contractors. I think it's an excellently robust and very simple system to use. And one other aspect of it is, I suppose, from an ecological point of view, you're only really ordering exactly what you need. Everything's custom made to order. Saves a lot of wastage and a lot of time. So yeah, I would happily recommend it. They're also a nice bunch of guys to deal with as well, which helps enormously, and they're always very helpful and very hands-on. And I think the thing that's impressed me particularly is, the owner's background and the company's background being in concrete, that they designed their own product from analysing a lot of other industry products and standards, and came to their own technical solution based on their experience of handling the material that makes the whole system work. Whereas I think other products probably haven't taken that so much in consideration, or don't have the dirty hands-on experience of shoveling concrete and knowing what it does, really. So I think that's a huge advantage.